plastic Marni dresses, and I carried a $3,000 black patent leather Lanvin tote that Jean had plunked down on my desk one afternoon. "This is too shiny for me," she'd explained. My highlights were by Marie Robinson at Sally Hertzberger's salon in the meatpacking district. I had a chic lavender pedicure, Versace Heat nail lacquer V 2008, and I smelled obscure and expensive, like Suzanne Lang Midnight Orchid and Colette Black Musk Oil. But look closer. I was 5'4", 97 pounds. The aforementioned Lanvin tote was full of orange plastic bottles from Rite Aid. If you looked at my hands digging for them, you'd see that my fingernails were dirty and that the knuckle on my right hand was split from scraping against my front teeth. My chin was broken out from the vomiting. My self-tanner was uneven because I always applied it when I was strung out and exhausted. To conceal the exhaustion, you see. And my skin underneath the faux glow was full-on corpse bride. A stylist had snipped out golf ball-sized knots that had formed at the back of my neck when I was blotto on tranquilizers for months and stopped combing my hair. My under-eye bags were big enough to send down the runway at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week. I hadn't slept in days. I hadn't slept for more than a few hours at a time in months, and I hadn't slept without pills in years. So even though I wrote articles about how to take care of yourself, your hair, your skin, your nails, I was falling apart. I'd never been in the VIP section of a circus tent before. There was an open bar and colossal flower arrangements, and waiters in black ties swishing around with trays of mini cheeseburgers and all that. Maybe little shoddies of vichyssoise. You know how it is. Anyway, I was at the fucking Cirque du Soleil not by choice, but as the guest of a major personal care brand, one of Lucky's biggest advertisers. As associate beauty editor, it was my job to represent the magazine at get-togethers like these, to rub elbows and be pleasant and professional. Seriously, it was the easiest gig in the world, and yet it wasn't always so easy for me. "I'll take one of those." I stopped a dude with a tray of champagne. "Thanks, honey." "Hi, Kat," a beauty publicist with a clipboard said. "Thanks so much for coming." "Good to see you," I lied. Thunder clapped outside. "The gang's over there," she said. The publicist was referring to the usual group of beauty editors, my colleagues. They were from every title you've ever heard of. Teen Vogue, Glamour, Elle, Vogue, W, Harper's Bazaar, InStyle, O, Shape, Self. I attended events alongside them every day, and yet I never felt like I belonged. I'd spent years trying to get into their world, interning, studying mastheads, interviewing all over town. But now that I was one of them, I felt defective, self-conscious and out of place in the dreamy career I'd worked so hard for, and unable to connect with these chic women I'd idolized. I could barely make small talk with them. It probably didn't help that I was always strung out on Adderall, an amphetamine pill prescribed for the treatment of attention deficit disorder. How much Adderall was I always strung out on, you ask? Lots of Adderall. Enough Adderall to furnish 400 Damien Hirst pharmacy installations. Enough Adderall to suppress all the appetites of all the starving children in the world. Enough... Well, you get the idea. I set down my empty glass and approached the gang, with the same vague dread I always felt. A few women nodded hello. "How are things at Good Housekeeping?" I asked an editor with a Hitchcock blonde bob. "Cosmo," she corrected politely. "Champagne?" It was the same waiter. "No thanks," Cosmo editor said. "Sure." As I helped myself, a woman standing with her back to me turned around. It was the person I dreaded seeing all night, the vice president of marketing for this major beauty brand. Oh no. Now, my bosses at Lucky had essentially sent me here tonight to kiss up to this powerful, advertising budget-controlling woman, the vice president of marketing who not only detested me, but had recently seen me on drugs and in my underwear. It all went down at a weekend press trip to the Mayflower Spa in Connecticut, one of the most luxurious retreats on the East Coast. Other beauty editors and I were there for 2 nights as a guest of the vice president of marketing and the beauty brand. The first night there was a fancy dinner. I ate nothing. Then I wobbled back to my deluxe cottage, stripped off my clothes, popped a Xanny bar, boosted it with a strawberry-flavored clonazepam wafer I'd found stuck to a tobacco flake-covered Scooby-Doo fruit snack at the bottom of my grimy Balenciaga, and blacked out on top of the antique 4-poster feather-top bed. When I woke up, sunlight was streaming through the windows in my suite. There was a lipstick-smeared drool stain on the frette linens, and someone was shouting.